Hello, welcome to the podcast. I'm John,
I'm Lizzie.
and this is Harry Potter and the Second Time Reader.
Woo.
Woo.
I'm just finding a way to be more and more laying down every time.
I record a podcast with my nieces, and Ellie does that. She'll be sitting in that chair, and she'll be like sitting real proper to begin with, like straight back, and then all of a sudden she'll slowly go. And then she had one where she was literally on her back, and her legs were. She was using the mic stand as a leg rest,
That's
and
nice.
she was just had the mic right here, and she was just talking, and I would ask her a question. She'd like look at me upside down and then answer the question. It was so cute.
That's awesome.
She was so comfy.
My kind of girl.
Okay, chapter 11, 12, 13, and 14. Chapter 11 is a dueling club. What's a quick summary of that one?
Lockhart and Snape start a club of dueling with Dumbledore's approval.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. I don't know. They start dueling. They learn how to do magic on each other. And things go crazy.
Yes. We'll talk about that one. Polyjuice Potion, chapter 12.
Hermione, Ron, and Harry sit in a haunted bathroom stall, conjuring waterproof fire and turn themselves into other people and go gather intel from Malfoy.
Yeah, from the Slytherin Common Room. Nice. That was a great summary right there.
There you go. Trying to make it good off the top of my head.
Chapter 13, The Very Secret Diary.
I think this is when like the sink opens up. I don't know what happens in this one.
This one was when they just find the diary. So it's in the bathroom, and they the trio finds this diary, and Harry starts writing in it, and then he's taken into this memory.
So did Ginny throw it out at this point?
Yeah. So this was the one moment where she realized what the diary was, and she threw it out.
And then Harry comes in.
And Harry found it. So she threw it in the girls' bathroom. She tried to flush it down the drain. And it didn't work. And then it was in the bathroom, and Harry picked it up, and it just happened to fall into his hands. Was it fate?
Yes.
And then chapter 14 is Cornelius Fudge. You remember what this one is about?
No.
This one is just like not like a dud of a chapter. It's an interesting chapter, but they are kind of trying to take action in some way. So Cornelius Fudge comes to arrest Hagrid, and they just take Hagrid to Azkaban, which is bad government.
Do you think he actually went to Azkaban though?
Yeah.
Oh. Because he spoke about it later, right?
Yeah.
Because I like hold out hope that they did that, and then he's really just like
in a holding cell somewhere.
Yeah.
Or something.
Or just like at Fudge's house, like in his basement hiding.
A very positive opinion of Fudge.
Yeah. Whatever.
Okay, so in chapter 11 in the dueling club, who do you think is the best dueler?
I think Snape.
Yeah?
This made me happy about how happy Snape was, because he was like, this is like my time to shine, because he, I think, was just so excited to destroy Lockhart, or anyone for that matter. And it's cool that they learned like a new Expelliarmus.
Yeah.
And then they, I don't know, the wands, do the wands like shoot it straight into the air? Because that's how I imagine it.
Expelliarmus?
Yeah.
So you shoot you shoot the spell at the wand, and the wand just pops straight into the air.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's what I think it is.
Because then they're always like talking about how hard it is to like catch the wands.
Yeah.
So I didn't know like which way they went.
Yeah, because I guess it like pops out of your hand and it flies toward you, so like you grab it.
Gravity takes over.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe this is a weird question, but what is your perception of magic in a duel? Like, what would you do for a duel? Would you be on the offensive? Would you be on the defensive? What kind of spells would you use?
I don't even know. I don't think I would participate.
You're a pacifist.
Yeah, violence is never the answer. No, I probably would start duels in the hallway. Like, sucker. But I think what do you mean? What's offensive versus defensive in Magic?
So
Is like disarming.
what is Expelliarmus? Is that offensive or defensive?
Well, I don't even know what that means in sports.
No, Expelliarmus.
What?
The spell that they use, Expelliarmus.
That like D1s
disarm someone. Yeah, D1s them.
Is that considered defense?
Yeah, might ask my question for you. Oh. Is it defensive or offensive?
What does that even mean? I have no like context. Like, what is offense? Because they say drive defensively.
You're going to be on offense when you're trying to, when you're. I don't know how to describe that.
Okay, but so driving defensively.
Defensively is when you're trying to protect yourself. Offensively is when you're trying to harm the other person.
So I would probably do, I guess, defensive. I wouldn't want to hurt the other person, but if they hurt me, I would hurt them.
I'm coming after them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one thing that I love about Harry, and that he's just a very defensive-minded person with some of these. Like, Expelliarmus becomes his favorite spell. He uses it all the time because he's so defensive minded. He doesn't, his perception of Magic is that it's not to be used as a weapon necessarily. It's to be used as a shield. Like, if he's in battle, he has a shield rather than a sword. I mean, like, it'd be kind of nice to have both, you know, a shield and a sword, but
or just leave. No battle.
But yeah, I always think it's interesting learning the perceptions of people and even what spells they use and what spells they want to use and what kind of magic they want to use to see the measure of a person. Harry definitely is. I love Harry in the books so much more in the books than the movies, because in the books he is a lot more compassionate and he truly is much more defensive than like he doesn't really want to harm people. Even Draco, like, he doesn't like Draco all that much. But
yeah, there's a surprising lack of actual conflict with them.
Yeah.
With magic, knowing that what they can do.
And they get into it deeper as the books go on. Like, there's definitely like, you know, things that they're throwing back and forth at each other in like an offensive way. But Harry really is just a very defensive magician, wizard.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd probably want to be popular in school so I wouldn't be mean, but I could be mean. I could be doing magic in the hallways.
You can become popular by becoming the best dueler in the school.
I can become Draco.
I know.
Slytherin's heir.
What do you think a blood-sucking bugbear is?
What is what?
That just came up in this chapter, and I have no clue what it is. Someone mentions a blood-sucking bugbear.
A blood-sucking blood bear?
No, a blood-sucking bugbear.
Bugbear. I think they're probably a magical creature. I think Hagrid probably has one. I think it's probably like an insult, like calling someone like an animal, like I don't know, like calling people a cow or a pig is mean. Calling people a dog.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
What's the word? What's like the most annoying thing that people call you, or like what's the most insulted you've ever been?
Oh my goodness.
I have one, but it's like a stupid one. When I lived in Texas, people would call me buddy all the time. And in the Northeast, like if you call someone buddy,
that's like derogatory.
Yeah, it's derogatory. You got an issue with someone if you call someone buddy. You're like, buddy. It's like when you get in like, you know, road rage and you're calling someone buddy, or like someone does something wrong to you, you call them buddy. So everyone would be like, hey, buddy, come here. I'd be like, who are you talking to, dude? What is going on?
That's offensive for sure. I don't know. I have a lot of memories of being called obnoxious by my siblings as a child.
Yeah.
And I remember I whipped out a dictionary, like a fat dictionary, and I was like, read this, I'm not obnoxious. And they were just like I don't know, like that sticks with me. And then someone told me like I look terrible, but as in like a you're ugly kind of way, and not as like a oh my goodness, like you look terrible. But those are the only two that stick with me. I don't know.
Yeah, those ones stick with you. I like when it's like, it's one of those things like, you know, for every 10 negative things that someone says, like one positive one sticks. I remember the negative ones a lot more than they do the positive ones.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad.
My sister calls me a lot of goofy stuff, but she calls me like a hobo hippie. She called me a hoochie mama the other day, and I was like, no, ma'am, not today. But I don't know. Like I love being like the subject of the joke. Like I feel good when like I can make people laugh.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
There is like something quaint about being teased by people that love you.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of nice. In chapter 12, they take the polyjuice potion here, and they talk about all sorts of, they like try to get into, or they do get into the common room, and they kind of drill Draco with a bunch of questions. But there's one weird thing here about how Harry just doesn't really communicate things to Dumbledore. And I want to get your take on this again, because you don't really have a lot of trust in Dumbledore. Mm-hmm. Do you think that if you were Harry, who would you confide some of these things in? Because they're constantly telling him that he should tell Dumbledore about his parcel tongue issues and how he can hear these voices. They don't really know it's parcel tongue really at the moment.
Yeah.
But how he can hear these voices and how he should tell Dumbledore what's going on, and he doesn't.
I have the notion that if I told any of the teachers, it would get to Dumbledore, because I would tell McGonagall, but I think McGonagall would tell Dumbledore because she's headmistress. But then maybe like Mr. Weasley, if I was Harry. Or is there like an anonymous magazine in like Hogsmeade that we can, you know, FAQs on the back of the hearing voices? I don't know. It just seems like everybody in this world is so connected that it's just the person you don't want to hear is going to hear it.
Yeah. But why just do you have such a distaste or distrust in Dumbledore though?
Because he's supposed to be trusted. Look, I was raised on the Boxcar Children and Nancy Drew, and I do not take the main idea. Like, I'll doubt everything until I can prove it true.
Interesting.
Even in my own life, I will not believe you until I can verify that what you said is true.
That's fascinating. So are you a contrarian in some way?
Yeah,
because your opinions right now are very contrarian to most of Harry Potter. Like, you think Snape is a little bit better than he is evil, which most people think he's evil. And you think Dumbledore is a little bit more evil than he is good. Most people love Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Those are fascinating. It's fascinating takes.
But I'm also like, things can be temporary. Like I was saying, Snape could be good for a time and Snape can be bad for a time.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's how it is with anybody.
Yes. And there's definitely more trustworthy people and less trustworthy people. Like, there's certain things that you know, like there's certain people in my life, like, you know, I'm not going to tell them certain things because I know they're not trustworthy. But it doesn't mean that like I don't like them, or it doesn't mean like they don't have great qualities to them. It just means like, you know, I don't trust them with, you know, things about my life.
Yeah.
So people have good attributes and bad attributes, and you just learn how to like navigate through that. But I love the one thing that you're talking about, and I think this is one reason why I really love Harry Potter too, even though it's a children's story, and you know, there's all sorts of these like people who you say are like, you know, these flat characters in some children's literature. There's just a lot of understated things in this book that make someone a really compelling character, and you just wonder what their motivations are for certain things. Like, I wonder that with Harry all the time. We're inside Harry's mind and we don't fully understand it yet. Like, what his motivations are really for not wanting to confide in Dumbledore. Because Harry is someone who trusts Dumbledore at this moment. So you're like, why doesn't he actually just go to someone he trusts and go tell him what's going on? And he always says that he doesn't want to be a bother, yada, yada, yada. But I wonder what's going on in Harry's mind if he truly does trust Dumbledore, which I think he does.
He might be scared of the truth.
Ooh, wow.
And just avoiding conflict or scary honesty. And he'd just rather go chase the voice and see for himself rather than like well, Harry, you're gonna die. Like, he doesn't know what's gonna come.
Yeah. He'd rather live in ignorance.
Like, I could relate to that. If you like, maybe he has a really strong notion that this is Voldemort, or it's like he thinks that this is another one of those dreams, but now the dream is like actually happening and things are falling down around him, and he's just like, let me just die with, like, let me go down with the ship, like, just take it on. I don't know.
I kind of like that. He definitely does have that going on with him. I think there's something going on with him too, where I think he is a little too prideful at points, where he definitely thinks that he is able to figure some of this stuff out himself. Because I think in the first book, when he was able to figure everything out and like do all these little things, and he really didn't have a ton of help except for Ron and Hermione, I think he like banded together with them, and he's like, we can figure this kind of thing out. So I don't think he wants to talk to Dumbledore about some of this stuff, because he's like, I did it, my first year. I could do it my second year. I could figure this out myself.
If I heard that voice, I would never run chasing that through the hallways.
No, yeah.
He's like, it's up the staircase.
No way. No. I would run, literally hide under my covers.
It's like rip, kill, tear.
Yeah.
What?
I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
like
leaving Hogwarts.
You're defying human psychology to like go towards the danger.
But it has to be so unnerving that he's the only one that can hear that, because he's like, maybe anywhere I go, I'm gonna start hearing these voices. So that's got to be terrifying that he's like, if these other people aren't hearing voices in the same place that I'm at, maybe it's just inside my head.
So why does no one know Parseltongue? Because he knows it because Voldemort knew it and Voldemort zapped him.
Yep.
And then Voldemort knew it because he was Slytherin.
Because he was Slytherin's area.
But like, where did that go?
So there's a connection between them, yeah.
But that just died? Because you can't, it's not taught. It's just intrinsic, right?
Yeah, it's intrinsic, yeah. So that line just slowly died off.
The line of Slytherin?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll kind of get there as we get through the books. You'll kind of learn more about the line of Slytherin. But yeah, they died off, and not a ton of people can speak Parseltongue anymore because of that.
You can't write it down.
That's not. What would it look like? S's, a bunch of S's.
Yeah. It's like different cursive S's. You can calligraphy those S's for us.
Yeah.
Slytherin. Yeah, that just confused me because I was like, nobody's here to translate. Like, what?
Yeah. And then there's like another weird part, even with Harry, where like he finds this weird diary, and he starts writing in it, and it writes back to him, and he's like, "Oh, this is great! Like I can find out information." I'm like, if that happened to me, I'm burning that. I'm throwing it in the fire.
What?
100%.
No.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? That is like unknown knowledge and power, and like you don't know what that is.
I don't want that.
What?
There's like weirdness to that. I don't mind it in the fact of like information wise. I would love to know more information, but as far as the creepiness attached to it, that thing is going in the fire immediately. There's so much creepiness attached to that.
How? What's creepy? Like, I think it's weird, but it's kind of like a scam to me. Like when you get those things that are like trying to egg you on for more info. But Mr. Weasley's line sticks with me where he's like, never trust anything that you can't see where it thinks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel like I could use that in like real life. Like, where are people getting their thoughts from? Like, but I don't know. I think I probably would be terrified and I would slowly write in it. And then like the next night I'd write something else. And then I'd just go all in on this diary. Because essentially he like groomed Ginny.
Yeah.
Which is like repugnant.
Yeah. Not essentially. He did. Yeah.
It disgusts me.
Yeah.
And it's so sad.
Yep.
But I don't know, because wasn't he saying pretty normal stuff to him? He's like, I'm Harry Potter.
Yeah, he was saying normal stuff, yeah.
Because, I mean, Tom Riddle knows what he has to do, and he's not going to just be like, come inside my diary.
Yeah, let me show you.
He also kind of like falls into it accidentally.
Which
is like major spooky.
Oh.
But yeah, like he's not like. It felt like he was in a little trance, like when he went into the diary. To me,
They were like, yeah, he was like smoking a little too much of the fire fumes that were going on right next to him.
yeah, that's funny.
I don't know. The whole thing just seems a little dark and a little strange to me. A little, it makes me a little uncomfortable.
It definitely gives me bad vibes, but I would probably write in
it. I'm super creeped out by it. I think this is really dark, but I'm gonna spill all my thoughts to this diary.
Yes. I would try to get the diary to spill its thoughts.
Ooh, yeah, I like it. A little reverse psychology. Yeah. There's these plays that people did, and they're like comedy plays. They're this production called Star Kid did them. Or this theater group called Star Kid did them. And they talk about the diary of Tom Riddle, and they make this like a joke where they say it's a diary, and then Tom Riddle pops up and he's like, no, it's a journal. It's like a guy saying, it's my journal, not a diary. Nice. I love it. It's such a funny one. Well, when we finish all these, we'll watch those because they're actually hilarious. I think you'd like them. You like musicals?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd love these then. They're so good.
That's funny. The journal.
All these questions are like first timer questions. Let's go back on our discussion on ghosts for a little bit. What is your understanding of how someone is made a ghost?
How someone made a ghost?
How someone is made a ghost? Because these people died. Yeah, so they died. Why isn't everyone a ghost?
Everybody knows that, John. I think you have to rage against death. I don't know.
Interesting.
You want to stay in the world.
You want to stay in the world?
Yeah.
So like what happens? You want to stay in the world so bad that like when you die, they're like, oh, here you go. You get another chance.
I think like I could imagine nearly headless Nick like fighting for his life. So for him, I think maybe he like fought for his life and then he died, but he got stuck halfway. And then Moaning Myrtle like purposefully wants to be annoying and stayed here to like be annoying.
Yeah,
it's like the only word I have for her.
She just wants to haunt all of Hornby.
Yeah, because I don't understand how ghosts work in general. How you get stuck on, like, I don't know. Because like wizards and witches are dying all the time.
Yeah,
and there's only these ghosts.
There's only a handful of ghosts out there. Yeah.
Do you think they like do a spell or something and like, you know how they have like the promise keeper kind of charm thing? Like, is there something like that where you can be like bound to be a ghost and like bound to haunt something for all of eternity?
I think part of it. I think that's what Moaning Myrtle is. I think I think it's essentially someone who has so much unfinished business that they'd rather live like a half-life on Earth than depart. It's like someone who's not resting in peace. It's like legitimately like you put rest and peace on your gravestone so you don't become a ghost. Like, please rest in peace, don't haunt me.
But like, how isn't Binns really old?
Yeah,
like he doesn't have a reason.
Maybe he just loved teaching so much. Binns is a funny one to me. Like Binns just died in his chair, and then he became a ghost out of duty.
And they were like, nobody even like noticed.
Yeah, I know.
Like, he's my favorite ghost.
He's so a great ghost.
Because like he certainly should have rested in peace.
Yeah. There's a show. I haven't seen a ton of the episodes, but I saw there was a movie called What We Do in the Shadows. And it's about vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all these vampires, and the whole show is about like these vampires who go try to get like blood and. Then there's one type, and it's like the energy vampire, and he just saps the energy out of people in the dumbest ways and like the most annoying ways. So he just goes on to like online forums, and he gets energy and he gets like life by like trolling people He's like, sometimes I just like have 20 windows open at one time, and he's like, I'm just writing dumb comments, making people go crazy for like days. And I'm like, that's what Bins is to me. He's like an energy ghost. He like is an anomaly of a ghost. He didn't have necessarily unfinished business, but he just had such a duty to a ghost. He's like, all right, got to get up and teach again. And he just got up and taught. Maybe he had such unfinished business with teaching. He knew he needed to teach something else. So
That's
he's a
so
funny one.
funny. Maybe his unfinished business is that he's teaching history and the history is never ending.
Oh, I like that.
And he has to like be with it as
like
it
that.
occurs. But I think all the ghosts probably came like different ways.
Yeah, I think so.
There's more than one way to be a ghost.
Why aren't Harry's parents ghosts?
Because they were fighting for Harry's life and not their life.
Ooh. But wouldn't that give them unfinished business?
That was your opinion.
Touche.
I don't know. No, because Harry survived and they accomplished their goal. Period.
And done. I like
End of sentence.
All right, and the last question for this one, this little chunk. Hagrid gets sent to Azkaban. You talked a little bit before about the Dementors and how you think they actually enact justice.
My Dementees.
Your Dementees.
Yeah.
What do you think about Azkaban Prison? You think it is actually a place of justice?
If people are rightfully put in Azkaban, it is a place of justice. Because the thing to me that's so evil about Azkaban is that, or not even evil, the hard thing about Azkaban is that it de-wizards you.
Yeah.
That to me is like the ultimate loss.
Almost dehumanizes you when it de-wizards you.
But they say that it takes away your power.
It takes away your soul.
And your power.
Yeah, you definitely start to lose your power if you're there, but I think you're losing your power because you're losing your very soul. They're taking the happiness away from you.
Okay, but my point is that if you're taking the wizard out of someone, so are you like so
this is so entertaining to me. That's why I have such a big goofy smile because I'm going to combat you on this.
You already are.
Such a differing opinion.
But okay, if you're losing your wizarding ability, you are no longer able to do crime in the way that you committed it. So that to me is like when you get your license revoked or something.
Okay.
If you like hit someone, get an accident, you like they take away the thing that you used. So they're like de-wizarding you, but then being a wizard or a witch is your whole personality and like your whole identity. And then they just are stuck in this place that the Dementors suck the life out of you and then you die. But that depends on your morals of like, should criminals actually just die immediately because they did one thing wrong? But I don't think it's necessarily like an unjust place if the people there did crime.
This is going to be a sneak peek conversation for book 3 because book 3 we're going to talk about Dementors a lot.
A whole episode about Dementors.
And I'm going to combat you very heavily on these.
Go ahead. I'm unafraid. I'll win. I'll convince all these people.
You're a very good debater and very good arguer, so I'm not confident I would win in those, but I'm confident that I could combat you on these.
The art of argument.
Exactly. Anyway, that's kind of all I had for these chapters. Do you have anything else?
Maybe. Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that was do you like Valentine's Day?
I hated it the first time, but I kind of like it now.
Really?
Yeah. The Cupids, he's like, my loving letter deliverers. And then they're like pummeling Harry in the hallway.
What is your favorite character and favorite moment in these 4?
I'm not good at these. I don't know.
You gotta get good at these, especially when we go over the Hot Tamale Awards. You gotta really hone in on your Hot Tamale Awards.
Hot Tamale, we already know who it is every time. But
serious.
Yes. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't like Hagrid because he tips them off, right?
Yeah.
Does that happen in this chapter.
Hagrid tips him off about the spiders. Yeah.
And I thought that was a really fun moment for him because Hagrid isn't. This is also, we didn't talk about this at all, but Hagrid doesn't have a lot of these like I'm smart moments, and that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
That he like knew he had to be subtle, and he knew that it would be like a step in the right direction, and that he could be helpful.
Yeah.
I just felt very like it was validating that he deserves to like be there, and he's helpful.
It was anything but subtle though.
I mean, whatever.
He's about to get arrested. He's about to leave the school, and he goes, if anybody were to find anything, all they'd have to do is follow the spiders, and they're under the invisibility cloak. And they're like, okay,
but
all right.
Dumbledore was there, right?
Yeah.
So
Dumbledore was there.
He knows they're under the cloak.
Yeah, Dumbledore says something subtle. He goes, if and Hogwarts or help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who ask for it.
Yeah, what is that?
What does that mean? We'll get there. Actually,
but
these actually
Fudge didn't get it, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's right. We forgot to talk about that one. Help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who ask for it. But we'll move past that.
It's okay. The actual first time readers talked about it.
Yeah.
When did you guys finish that?
What?
Did you finish it?
No.
Oh, you're still doing it?
We're still on book 7. We're going so slow through book 7.
But even like
glacially slow.
Actually, glacially. Such a good phrase. Like they haven't finished the book yet.
They haven't finished book 7 now.
Whoa.
In actuality, we're doing 2 chapters a week.
What?
They're like sacrificing their ability to read, and they're good with it because they don't have a ton of time to read. But they're essentially listening to it, and we listen to it together. People want to do live reads, so we're essentially live reading the entire last half of the book because they want to see reactions, even though they actually don't give reactions really. They don't like. They're like pretty like emotionally.
And I'm like,
yeah. You're like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
Yeah.
They don't care all that much.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
2 chapters a week.
I know, it's slow. It's real slow. Real slow.
Slower than a glacier.
Slower than a glacier.
Tectonic
Glacier.
slow.
I like that. I'm gonna start implementing that in everyday speech now.
No one will think you're weird.
No way. It doesn't matter if they think I'm weird. I'm gonna just embrace it and do it.
Okay.
Well, thanks for joining us on our journey to Harry Potter and the First Time Readers. I forgot to get my favorites. Oh no. Favorite is Harry, because he beat Malfoy. That's my favorite moment when he beat Malfoy in the duel. Not really beat him. It was a weird duel, but I'm just gonna stick with that. Anyway, thanks for joining us on our journey of Harry Potter and the First Time Readers. Bye.
Bye. Blah, 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 blah.